Morning. So I was looking at your layout and I see where you're struggling. So I want to remind you of a couple things and give you some tips. So I'm going to straighten out your shoe a little bit. I made a duplicate and I made another board because I didn't want to um, mess with this and I wanted you to see the differences. So I took your basic shoe and I'm going to cut this. Whoops. I'm going to cut the whole shoe and I'm going to close this layer. I'm going to lock your other layer down and I'm going to go new layer and I'm going to go shoe 2. Okay. I'm going to paste that shoe on there. So I'm working on a red layer. All right. So you have these parts in here and that's fine, but I see where you're struggling trying to keep this aligned, and it doesn't have to be that hard. So we have this shoe shape and we want to add these little texture shapes on the shoe, but we don't want to necessarily worry about alignment. So I'm going to take the shoe, I'm going to click draw inside, okay? And now I can go ahead and make my shape inside the shoe. So for the top piece, I'm going to go ahead and make that piece too. So I'm going to click out here. I'm going to click down here and I'm going to click outside of the shoe. So I don't have to be perfect. Okay. So now I just made the top of the shoe shape and I'm going to go ahead and just color that with a red for right now. I'm going to talk about colors in a second so you can see. So it's nice and clean and it drew inside. All right, so that's what I'm going to do for all these little edge pieces of your shoe. And I'm only using the red so you can see. We haven't talked about our color yet. So for the side pieces, again, since I'm still in the draw inside mode, I'm going to go ahead and make my little side pieces. So I'm going to go click here. I'm going to click there, come out here, go like this. All right, so now I have a side piece. So I'll make that one just green so you can see. Now I want this behind this one. So I can actually click down in here and then come up to the clip group and then click on the green and go arrange. So I'm gonna go object, arrange, send it back. And that's gonna send it behind the red piece. So now this is nice and clean. And then I can take this, I can copy it, Command C, Command V. I'm going to rotate it around. And now I have the exact same piece on the other side. And then I can go object, arrange, send it back. So now that'll be underneath that red zone too. So now I'm building my shoe parts. Okay, so I can do the same thing for down here. So I can make one. And it looks like you have a little angle on there and everything. So again, I'm going to go ahead and make those pieces. So I'm going to come in and then I'm going to hold the shift key, get a straight line. And then I'm going to hold the shift key, get a straight line. And then see, you have an angle. Why don't we do this a different way? I got an idea. So let's do a different way. So I'm going to go back to normal mode here and I'm going to get out of my layers and I'm going to go ahead and take these pieces. I'm going to copy one, go here, paste, and you already created them and I'm going to use them, but I'm going to straighten them out a little bit because they look a little wonky. And what I mean by that is that they're not exactly the same. So there's a couple ways you can create a piece like this. So let's go ahead and leave that there to look at. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a rectangle and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a square shape. And then on that square shape, I'm going to get my direct select tool and I'm going to angle that square shape down to what I want. And then I'm going to take this shape and I'm going to make it a solid. So I'm going to flip these around. I'm going to take the stroke off. All right, so that one I'm going to have here. going to copy, I'm going to paste. I'm going to do 3, copy, paste. I'm going to do 3. So now I can go ahead and I can align these. So I'll align them to the top and I'm going to distribute them. I'm going to use my tools at the top and I'm going to distribute. So now they're evenly distributed and now I can center them within that rectangle. So I can group these and then I can go ahead and use align tools and center. All right, so now I basically have this piece in a way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just fill that with yellow and I'm going to take the stroke off. And then I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to go to my Pathfinder. And let's see, I think I can do all 3 as long as they're grouped. Pathfinder, and I'm going to punch out. Yep. So now I have my shape. So let's just turn that to red so you can see the shape. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, I need this to be a little deeper. So I'm going to go ahead and use the direct select tool on it. I'm going to grab this corner, and then I'm just going to make it a little bit deeper so I have room to work. And then I think I might want a little bit of an angle on these ends. I'm not sure, but I can do that later with the direct select tool. So now I have this piece. I'm going to set it right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy it, paste it. I'm going to rotate it. And you're like, but the angles are going the opposite way. That's okay. We're going to go up to object and we're going to go transform and I'm going to reflect. So now the pattern is the same. I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to take both pieces and I'm going to cut them. I'm going to go to my shape. I'm going to go to my draw inside tool. So let's go here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and paste. And now I'm going to move them to where I need them to be. And then I'm going to get out of that shoe. I'm going to go back. So now I'm back in regular mode. So now I'm building my shoe. So anytime I double click down, I can go ahead and change and I can take off all my strokes and I can go ahead and just change everything to black. And this one, I'll take that off. I'll put it to black for right now. And then back. And change that to black. Go back. Black. All right, so now I'm building my shoe parts, as you can see, for this project. And the reason why I built this piece is so I can tint it or color it or whatever I'm going to do. So I don't necessarily need that. So I'm going to get out of this clip group and I'm going to delete that. So you have a circle over here. You can add that to it. You can even go back and manipulate your shoe shape if you need to. Like we want to kind of straighten this out so it looks a little bit more even. So you can manipulate that with all your shapes inside. And now you're at the beginning of your shoe. So part of this shoe, and yes, it is smaller than what you have. You can enlarge it later. We want to talk about the text in here. So my thought is you're cramming all this in the middle, and I get that, but you have some nice space here to work with. And let's pick a font that would stretch a little bit better for that. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to go get my type tool. And I'm just going to get line type and I'm going to do chocolate. And then I'm just going to make it bigger. So now that I have that in here, what I can do is I can figure out if I want it to work to this shape. So since I have this, I'm going to lock this layer that I'm working on. I'm going to do a new layer. I'm going to say, okay. So now I'm going to use my pen tool and I'm going to come across here and I'm going to come up this way. Just make a quick shape. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to close it. All right, so now I can go ahead and fix, I'm just gonna color it so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna fix the shape so it fits the space a little bit better. Okay, so now I have that shape. And I'm gonna take my font, whoops, unlock. So I'm gonna take my font, I'm gonna cut that, and I'm gonna go to layer 3 and I'm gonna paste it so they're all in the same layer. And I'm gonna set this on top. And I'm gonna actually go object, arrange, send it back. So now I have that selected. I'm gonna select the yellow piece, and then I'm gonna go to object, and I'm gonna go to envelope, distort. I'm gonna make with top object. So now it's fitting within the shape that I made. So it's gonna fit that space. And I can go back and manipulate this object to manipulate how the text is going to fit in this space. Okay. So I can fit that in there. And then if I decide to, I should be able to click inside and once, I don't think it converts it, but make sure you figure out what font you want for that space. So if I do chocolate there, now I have this shape that I made earlier. So I'm going to tighten up that shape a little bit because I'm going to use that for my 5K part. So I'm going to make that shape here a little bit better. And I need this one to bleed over. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy the shape. Get out of isolation mode. Go back up to layer 3. I'm going to paste. Whoops, didn't get the whole shape. Copy. Paste. Okay, now I got the whole shape. So I'm actually going to utilize this shape for my 5K part. So I'm going to go ahead and type down and go 5K. All right, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to put this shape over top, select the back, and I'm going to go object, envelope, distort, make with top object. Oops. Object, arrange, send it back. Make sure that's a different color. Okay, so they're in the right order now. Object, envelope, distort. So now my 5K fits in there, and I don't like the way that font works in there. So I'm going to back out and I'm going to change this font. Let's go to impact on that one. Now I'm going to put this over top. Object, envelope, distort. Still can't make out 5K. So let's do a little bit smaller shape, a little bit wider. Okay, envelope, distort. That's a little better. Now I can take that and I can work with that. And I can reduce it down. And then that can go over top of my shoe shape. So I don't know what colors you're going to choose yet, but at least you can see So if this was going to be a tint, now I can go back and say, you know what, I want this to be a little bit more like that. So you can start building. So now it's saying chocolate 5K, and then you can utilize things like this Terry Campus. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little path here. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do Terry. Copy that. And go find my stroke. And then I'm going to go path, paste, object arrange, bring the front. Where'd it go? I don't have something right in my layers. Aha. There it is. All right, so now I'm going to adjust the positioning, and then I can make it bigger. And I can adjust my alignment. So you can start building. So you could do Delaware Tech, Terry Campus, Chocolate 5K, and then you can do like a 2022 down this way. So you can put and fit 2022 in there as the shape. So you would make a shape that you want that 2022 to fit in. Doesn't have to be perfect right now. And then you're going to take good font. Whoops. That out of there. Okay, so now I'm going to click down. I'm going to do 2022. You don't have to warp it because it's in that spot, but if you wanted to, you could. But you could put your 2022 here. You could do the warp thing if you want. So then you would make sure that this shape, object, arrange, bring the front. And then you have to select the behind. Make sure your shoe isn't selected. And then you would do envelope distort, make with top object. Whoops, too much. Color that so I can see it. Oh, I know what it's doing. It's trying to do it the other way. I have to turn it. It shouldn't be it. Yep. And then I can rotate it if you wanted to do that. To me, that's a little more difficult to read, and you already have the 5K up here. So I probably would just stick it in there as that. So I would work on setting up your shoe and building it versus trying to be so tight here. You don't have to be perfect. So if you click down, you can see I'm overlapping on everything. So I would go ahead and fix this. So basically what you're going to do on this shoe is you're going to go ahead and you're going to make this a drawn side shape, and you're just going to extend all this stuff out. And then if you wanted to, you could hurry up and do a quick shape to replace these. And then I would redo your chocolate 5K in here, but I would make it read more like chocolate 5K. So once this whole shoe thing is all set and you rotate it, then you can group it, and then you can go ahead and hold the shift key and you can enlarge it. And then you can put it in the position that you need it to. All right, so that's step one that you're going to work on. The other part is you really need to work on your colors. You have to pick your colors. You need your shirt color. So you need to take all of these colors out except for the black and white. So I'm going to select them all by holding the shift key, and I'm going to delete them, and I'm going to say yes. So now I don't have any colors that I'm going to work with except for black. So I need to figure out what color my shirt is and what two colors I want to have. If my shirt is going to be white, then I get two colors here that I can make tints of. So I'm going to open the swatch library and I'm going to go to color books. From color books, I'm going to go to solid coded. In there, I'm going to get a menu, and I'm going to be able to pick my colors. I can adjust that menu so I can see them better, so I can figure out what colors I want. If my shirt was going to be, say, a light blue, I could pick two colors that would complement that. Try to stay away from muds and browns, especially with this, because you don't want to make it look like they're stepping in chocolate. You just want the shoe print on that. So if you picked say the shirt color was like a light blue, and then you decided to pick maybe like a green to complement it, and then maybe, I don't know, let's try yellow. So you could work with those colors so you can see how they add right here. So I can come in here and I can say, all right, well, I want this to be green. I want that to be yellow, yellow. I want that to be green, green. And then my text, let me get out of this group. So my text is going to be green, green. And then Terry Campus is actually going to punch through this. So whatever your shirt color is, that's what this is going to punch through as. So let's figure out what our shirt color is first. So I'm going to make a big square, and I'm going to send that object arrange, send to back. And then I'm going to go out and pull the shirt color, and I'm going to bring that in. So if I were to go to the course, activities, assignments, we're in the 5K assignment. Someday. I'm looking for a copy that, because that's the style number, and I want to go to the link. Doesn't want to search for products. And now I can look. So they have like a pond blue, they have a neon yellow, royal heather. So you have to figure out what color. So what if I picked a darker color? So if I pick, say I'm going to pick this blue, and I'm like, oh, I like that blue, and maybe I'll think of my color changes, or maybe I like this blue. So whatever that is, what you're gonna do is you're gonna screen cap this dude. So I'm gonna take a screen capture. Okay, so you can do the whole screen or whatever, but you want a sample of that color. So I'm gonna pick that blue. It's the pond blue. And then I'm gonna go back here. Now I have this graphic. I'm gonna just drop it in. So now I can sample my color. So I can sample that blue. Once I get that sample, it shows up here. I can drag it and then I can double click on it and I can call this shirt pond blue. So I know what it is. That's the only CMYK color you're gonna have in here. So I'm gonna delete that and then I'm gonna delete that one because I'm not using it. Yep. So now I have my pond blue. So this color is gonna be the shirt color. So I'm gonna say, now I need to rethink my green. I kind of like the yellow. So I'm going to rethink the green. So I'm going to go back to my color books, open swatch library. I'm going to go to color books and I'm going to go solid coded and I'm going to think about a different color. So I have a pond blue. I have a yellow. Maybe I'll do a blue. Brighter blue, yellow. Maybe I'll do like a blue on blue. So maybe I'll go to a dark blue. It's a violet. Mm, 287, 286. I'm gonna go with 286. Yeah, okay. So I got 286. So I'm gonna get rid of this green color. And then I'm gonna use the dark blue. I think I'm going to knock that out to the shirt color. So now the shirt color is coming through on my 5K. And then here, maybe for the font, I'm going to go yellow. And then maybe for the font, I'll go yellow there. So if I want, I can go yellow there, and then I can let the shirt color come through. And if I decide in this tip, I want the shirt color, I can go back and do that. And then I'm like, no, I kind of need that. So undo. And then I think I'm just going to keep it yellow. So however you decide to set up your shoe, there are easier ways for you to get to that thing. So the other thing too is if you double click down and you get to this font and you don't like this font, you can go ahead and change it so you can see how it works with other fonts. And then you can manipulate it in the shape. Okay, so the footprint is fine. Just make sure that you have Delaware Tech, Terry Campus, Chocolate 5K, Reach Chocolate 5K in 2022. So I hope that helps you. I'm doing another video of how to set your design in the PDF. I'm not going to do it in this one because I have to do it for the other one for everybody else. This is just your private video. If you have any other questions, email me. For Thursday, you are going to need to take your design and put it in the shirt PDF with the logo, and that's what we're going to submit for crit. Eventually, you are going to have to package the file completely and upload that to the assignment once it's complete. but if there's any tweaks that you want to do after crit, you're more than welcome to, and then package that file. That's what's going to be submitted to Patty. So the whole package file isn't due for Thursday, just the PDF with the shirt print and the logo on it. And that will be the next lesson that I'll upload. All right, well, you have a good day. I hope you feel better, and I'll see you soon.